Singapore is tightening its anti-money laundering rules. The MAS fined 9 firms 27.45 million Singapore dollars and now demands stricter checks and faster filings. To unpack what this means and how AI may help, we are joined today by Dillian Chua of BR Law Corporation and Irene Liu of Accenture. Welcome to both of you to the discussion. Now, Dillian, can I bring you in first and ask you how you feel the MAS stricter AML guidelines change current compliance practices?
From a legal standpoint, the most significant change actually isn't just about creating new tasks for compliance teams. Instead, it's about a fundamental shift in the legal standard of care expected of them. And this has two key implications. First, the revised AML guidelines introduces a higher bar for what is considered a legally defensible position. Just to highlight an example, the new guidelines require screening to be done on pertinent search engines that are predominantly used in the countries and jurisdictions commonly associated with the customer. What this shows is that what was considered adequate or acceptable due diligence yesterday may no longer be legally defensible tomorrow. The second key implication is that the new guidelines have created what I call a de facto mandate for technology. For example, the tight STR filing deadlines imposed under the new guidelines make it difficult and nearly impossible for existing manual processes to meet, especially on a large scale. So essentially what this does is that it leads to a call for the adoption of advanced technologies and AI to improve accuracy and efficiency.
These are actually not new changes. These actually reflect MAS's supervisory guidance and expectations over the last few years. And so, proliferation financing has always been included as a practice in the financial industry. So this is actually not an issue at all for the industry. However, with the tightening of the source of wealth, this has had some major repercussions. So the financial institutions had to, number one, redesign the existing processes and policies, and then as well as also to even re-perform the source of wealth review exercises undertaken for a number of impacted customers. So this requires significant resources and efforts and the need for also technology tools to support them.
Now, Irene, while I have you on Spotlight, what risks or limitations come in deploying advanced technologies?
Well, the dependency on any advanced tech tool will be on the 4 areas. Number 1 is data. Number 2 is clarity of the policies and the risk appetite. Number 3 is outcomes that we want to achieve. And number 4 is regulations. Just on data alone, we need a good understanding of the data points that are needed for decision making, as well as a good, robust data quality of such data for training purposes. Now, in terms of clarity of the policies, we need to know what data needs to be collected and how it is to be assessed for decision. Outcomes is in terms of developing AI or advanced technologies. They will need to know and address the accompanying risks, such as biased outcomes, lack of transparency, and ethical concerns. So with AI and models, they can unintentionally discriminate based on currently, some nationalities, race, gender, or other factors. So these raises some serious questions about accountability and fairness. So financial institutions can help to overcome this by aligning their AI models with the latest AI risk management guidelines and handbook published just recently in November 2025. This requires the financial firms to quickly adapt and stay aware of these changes, which also means to say that their AML KYC systems and protocols must be updated to reflect the evolving sanctions and regulations as well.
Ultimately, firms need to be aware that they will still be held accountable for business decisions, even if those decisions were prompted or guided by technology. So it might not be sufficient to simply say, oh, we did it that way because the AI recommended it, or that the algorithm suggested that we do it this way. And if a firm cannot provide clear and auditable reasons for its AI's decisions, then that firm may still potentially be liable for compliance issues. Another legal risk I foresee is that given the increasing number of different technologies and AI solutions out there in the market, it becomes all the more important for firms to conduct proper due diligence on such technologies and the solutions that they offer. So prior to adopting them wholesale, firms need to have a deeper and better understanding of the technology itself, for example, what it does, how it works, what are the shortcomings, etc.
Dillian, how can AI improve efficiency and accuracy in AML compliance.
Legacy systems and processes have been known to create an overwhelming number of false positives. And because of this sheer volume of what I call noise, it makes it more likely that a critical risk may potentially be missed by the compliance teams. By adopting AI, firms will be able to implement dynamic, fine-grained rules rather than rigid traditional ones. And by reducing the number of false positives, this will in turn allow their expert human investigators to focus on the cases that carry the highest legal and financial risk. Also, if we take a look at the most recent MAS fines that were imposed, many of the breaches were due to firms failing to connect the dots in respect of various suspicious networks or connections. So being able to show regulators that your firm is able to uncover complex networks actually demonstrates that your firm has taken real steps to address this critical issue.
The first one is intelligent investigation. AI and machine learning technology can automate AML investigations by, number one, analyzing customer transactions and prioritizing the review of suspicious transactions. Number two is natural language processing, which and robotics, which can help to streamline the manual extraction and review of the information that we have. Thirdly is even native language screening of the persons and the associated jurisdictions, which is a key requirement in the latest guidelines consultation paper as well. The second area is on risk-based prioritization. Now, AI can tailor in-depth investigation based on risk materiality, and advanced analytics and machine learning can also help to reduce false positives and improve detection. Then we also use, thirdly, advanced analytics for typology detection. Now, we can use, for example, anomaly detection, network link analytics to detect, for example, so-called hidden suspicious behaviors, relationships, and also discover new money laundering typologies. Finally, we can also use it to enhance our operational efficiency, such as, using predictive analytics based on the case file information, and to analyze those information and based on historical investigations and case information, so as to be able to allocate such complex cases to skilled investigators.
Well, thank you both for joining us today, Dillian and Irene.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Once again, our guests were Dillian Chua, Associate Director at BR Law Corporation, and Irene Liu, Managing Director for Risk and Compliance Southeast Asia at Accenture. For more news, please visit sbr.com.sg.